Console Wars the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now. This is Xbox Era. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the Xbox Era podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Everything Xbox Era does is only made possible by the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our MVPs and executive producers are all incredible people, but even more so are our grand benefactors, Croat56, Assassin, and Kevin S. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely and benevolent CEO, Torn Raptor. If you want to become part of one of the best communities on the internet, head to patreon.com/Xbox Era, where your patronage can help keep us alive for another month.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Headlines, Xbox Era's twice weekly show that covers all of the latest and greatest from across the video game industry. We talk about everything here, and today's date is December the 9th, 2025. I'm your host, Jon, and joining me as always is reviews editor Jesse Norris.
The hell is it already December? How'd that happen?
I know,
This year's
right?
just gone. It feels like we were just in Los Angeles for Summer Games Fest.
It's scary that the year actually ahead is kind of just punctuated by places. Like, in theory, it might be San Francisco in March. I might be dragged to Vegas in February. I don't know for DICE. I'm hoping not, because Vegas is horrible. And then before you know it, it's June, and then Gamescom, and then we're back here in December again. This is the curse of being old. Time just it's on a treadmill. It's just going.
Yeah, unless I can get the similar setup to last year and not this year, I don't know about Gamescom next year.
You're coming to Gamescom next year.
That travel was not fun.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that train again. German trains do not run on time.
You'll be fine. I believe in you. Hey, as a bonus though, this is Headlines, but for our wonderful Patreon community, they get audio versions of these episodes available to them via Patreon to use in whatever podcast app they bloody well like, I tells you. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your Patreon account to Spotify and listen to it there instead. If you would like to support our independent, carefully curated show and publication directly, you can do so by heading to patreon.com/Xbox Era. Before we dive into the news of the week, we've got a few housekeeping items to take care of, namely some site content that we would like to draw your attention towards.
But we want to talk about it now because Nick never shuts up on Saturdays, as I think people can know. Because like I want to clarify my point around Metroid Prime 4, which is it is a beautiful game that is not technically impressive outside of their dedication to running at a high frame rate. They have taken very basic geometric structures and made them very pretty, which I think is one of the main issues with Unreal Engine 5, is that whole lumen system, while it looks kind of cool, really kills frame rates. And I like the fact that Nintendo focuses on frame rates. But it's not stunning. It's really nice art style, but I am not stunned whenever I look at that game. I'm like, man, they really know how to get a lot out of their hardware, and they have very good artists. Like, From Software's stunning until you look too closely at it, but their art design is just amazing. But I'm not stunned.
Just a shame about the performance a lot of the time.
Yeah, no, their technical chops are in question.
But in short, yes, I agree with you. Nick would not shut the hell up last
and
episode.
He's still defending the friggin' amiibo thing. It is so you can unlock, but you can't even talk about it without spoiling the ending. You can unlock music by getting to 100%, but even at that point, who cares? You've driven around. You've driven around this empty desert with no ambient music. It's just wind. And then you unlock the music that you can either spend $30 on an amiibo for. I don't like that. In his defending of it, I disagree with politely.
Yeah, politely.
But John, what did you review today?
I didn't review a damned thing.
Lies. You made the video,
and I'm a terrible person for it. But I will explain a couple of things. Firstly, I worked with the lovely Kat on a review of Thank Goodness You're Here, which is available today, not on Game Pass, but it is available today on Xbox via Xbox Play Anywhere, so PC and console versions for one purchase. It is a 2-hour-ish release set in the fictional town of Barnsworth, up north. Yeah, it is brilliant. It's short and sweet. It's very funny. It's very, very British. I feel sorry for Americans that might pick this up, and please do. I'd love to hear your opinion, because it paints a slice of life up north.
Keep going, Faf.
It is kind, but it deals with a lot of stereotypes, and it's very, very funny. Kat reviewed it. She rocked in with an 8 out of 10. Short and sweet. plenty of good achievements to unlock. There are some secret hidden bits to go and find and specific events to unlock and get achievements for. But if you want a good laugh, runs flawlessly on the 13-watt silent profile on the Xbox Ally at 120 FPS. It's just perfect. It just runs forever. It is a wonderfully funny, brilliant little game. And kudos and shout out to Kat for her northern accent, which I tried to persuade her to do for the entire review, but she did not. Although she did do this hilarious thing where she recorded it and I left her alone. And I came back in and she is just crying with laughter. And there's a bit in the review where she does the northern accent, it plays the intro, and then she goes, "It's enough of that," and talks normally again, right? Except that the cough she did in the original take was not a polite, it was a, like it was, and she just broke down. She was just having a funny turn in here. She was just tears of laughter, and it was very amusing. Maybe I'll release the unedited audio file at some point for people to have a good giggle over.
You better borrow OnlyFans.
Yeah. The game I also didn't review is Dome Keeper, which is out today on Game Pass. And I wanted to review it. I really did. I'm trying to think of a way to put this diplomatically. I think that there is an audience out there for this game.
It's not you.
But it isn't me. I tried to muster up the will to play this, and I'll try and give you like, it's lovely made, it runs great, it works on the handheld, but you are going between mining underground for resources, and then every so often a wave of monsters will come and take out your dome, which is at the top of your mine. And you have to go back up and fight them off with a laser that you manually control, and you can unlock things like a sword, and the sword can like fire out and grab monsters. And then as soon as you defeat them, the danger's past, so you've got to go back downstairs and mine some more. And you mine by just bouncing into the wall a number of times. And yeah. And if there's more stuff or the ground is harder, you have to bounce more times. I found it personally very, very monotonous. And it did not hook me. So
how long do you think this full playthrough is, John?
I would imagine tens of hours.
12 hours. Not too crazy.
I've played about 2.5, and I feel like I've seen what I need to see to render a judgment, but I didn't feel it was particularly fair to write a review based on that, especially considering as I did not want to. I hadn't seen everything, admittedly. Like, I know what the game is. You could make that argument, but I haven't seen everything. I just did not have the willpower to go in. And I found just the repetition of that process draining. So give it a go. It's on Game Pass. See if it's for you. It was not for me. And as I'm juggling a few other things this month, I was like, I need the hours back, and I don't want to spend another 8 doing this. I'm sorry, Dome Keeper. It's not you, it's me. All right? It's a perfectly cool game. It's just not my jam. There you go. It was Perform Task. The game. Go down, perform the task, collect the thing, and it didn't have that hook that just made me want to improve the task. It's just for me. But yeah, what did you review? Because the complete opposite happened to you. A game came out of nowhere and you were like, wow, this is amazing.
Last Tuesday, a game called Death Howl was announced as coming to Xbox, Game Pass for PC this year, or today, but consoles next year. And it turns out that's February 19th, I think. They said during the 11-bit show yesterday. Dome Keeper is not a roguelike, despite being a deck builder. It is a deck building Souls-like. That is 1000% a Souls-like. It understands what a Souls game actually is, which is not third-person slow-rolling combat. That might be what From has done outside of Bloodborne, which is pretty fast and active, and Night Rain, which is incredibly fast. The Souls games have a distinctive flow to progression and how you go through the world. There's generally checkpoints that respawn enemies around you. There's a gauntlet to get from checkpoint to checkpoint. As you defeat enemies, you will get a resource to level up that you can lose if you die. And the world building and narrative are generally not super thrown in your face. They can be pretty obtuse at times, but not always super obtuse. Like this one's not super obtuse. Liza P wasn't. And there is a high difficulty factor baked into them generally. And this game gets all of those absolutely perfectly. It was very close to a 10 outside of some issues with a little bit of the randomness that just is inherent in card games, making some fights unfair. Where it's like, if I get these cards, I'm going to win in 2 seconds, versus if I don't get those cards, I can't win on some of the tougher fights. That balance was like the only issue I had, and it's inherent to card builders. It's just how they work. So I didn't really hold it against them too heavily. Looks amazing, like a very basic pixel art style that looks like it could have run on computers in the 80s. But then, the animations and everything, like it's a very small color palette in each area that dominates the way it looks to let you know you're in that area.
Yeah, super muted, isn't it? It reminds me of like something on the BBC Micro where you'd have like max 8 colors and they'd come up with this style.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced just got rated. There you go.
Yeah, I know. I was busy finding a link and not interrupting you.
Yeah. But this one is 3 guys made it. It is set in 6000 BCE Scandinavia. You are a mother, sadly former mom, named Ro, who is using her family's shaman heritage to spirit walk to try and find and save her son who died during a hunt with his father. That is the basic premise of the game. So the area you're in is like this whole spirit realm with 5 distinct regions. Each region is essentially its own subset of cards. And I did see one negative review that was like, having to rebuild my cards stunk. And it's like, well, in a Souls game, if you're in the swamps, you need a poison gear resist set. And on this boss, you need this type of stuff. Like, they might have a bunch of different versions of the weapons you can use, but the armor, generally, there's like light, heavy, medium, and you need some of this stuff to be able to resist it. And they took that thought process and put it into a deck builder the only way you really can, which is how your cards work. So each realm has its own set of buffs to unlock and cards to build up. And you have 20 cards at any time, and you can make a ton and figure out exactly what you want. Some cards you can only have 1 or 2, depending on how the balance works. So every time you go to a realm, you then are grinding up teardrops, which you get from death howls. Every time you kill something, it gives you a death howl. You take that death howl either to a checkpoint to bank it for leveling up materials, or you use it right away to build new cards. The cards will unlock for crafting as you kill enemies and get items off of their corpses. It's just a really good, familiar, and well-done loop. Every fight, you're in a grid that you're seeing from 3/4 perspective at kind of like at an angle. So it is a little weird to move on controller because up is actually like up right or up left.
Yeah.
So it's a little odd because you can't use the D-pad. The D-pad brings up menu stuff. Other than that, controls great and played great on the Ally. So I have again, 13-watt mode, played for 5 hours on the Ally without charging.
Wow.
On Sunday when Amanda was streaming freaking Cyberpunk for 5 straight hours because she's addicted to that
you
game
were just
again.
sitting there like...
I was right next to her on the couch just playing this nonstop because
Do you think I'd vibe with this?
You have to be ready for something that is going to require you to grind. Like, that is one of the biggest things about Souls games. Like, every area in this game is the same loop of I go in, I have to get to a checkpoint for each. So you've got your realms, and then there's like 3 different distinct areas of each realm to unlock the map, which thankfully you don't have Fog of War and you have to go through the whole thing. You have to get to one of the checkpoints. Once you get to a checkpoint and activate it, the map for that subzone opens up. And then from there, you're going to see this is the gauntlet to get to this. Like, I got to do these 2 or 3 fights, and then I can get to the next checkpoint. and I can't heal up in between those because healing up respawns everything. And there are side quests where like I get this card and I can't fast travel anymore, and so I've got to get through I've got to get through 6 fights to get from one area of the map to the other area of the map to do the quest, but I can't heal at any checkpoints along the way. I just can't fast travel to them. And the story's really good. The grind feels really well thought out. Everything's well balanced. I think it was Polygon was like, it's the hardest thing I played all year. I was like, man, it's not easy, but the moment you understand how it works, like I don't think it ever took me more than 10 boss attempts. And they're not long, so it was like it never took me more than half an hour to kill a boss. Until the last area is really hard, but it does the Zelda thing where as long as you kill each main boss, it then makes the final boss easier. Like that's the whole thing. So why you want to go, because you could just go to the final area right off the bat, but you're not going to have the cards, you're not going to have the level ups. It's really good. It's really complex and deep while not being overwhelming. And it is an amazingly good handheld game. It won't be on consoles until February, but as it is right now, yeah, it's one of my favorite games of the year. And if it wasn't for that 6 out of 10, it would have been at like an 89 on OpenCritic yesterday. But that 6 knocked it down to an 84 because there's not many reviews. I could not recommend this enough.
The end of the year and pushing a game out is a tricky one, right? Like because there's just no people attention for it.
Yeah, it's got 8 total reviews.
Half the journalists, for any reasonably large site, not us, are on their way to LA right now for the Game Awards on Thursday. I saw Andy Robinson over at VGC is flying out there today, I think.
I wonder why.
To go and
what's the point?
Bump elbows. If there's coverage out there, there's coverage out there, right? But also
So the coverage is just writing and getting clicks on the website. But yeah, I guess being in the audience at the Summer Game Fest one was not fun. But if you look at this game on OpenCritic, it has a 9.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, me, 9, 9, 8.5, 6. And that 6 counts, and a couple of the 9s don't. And so it's at 84 on OpenCritic, but it's an 88% recommended. So I think if this had gotten more reviews, it would be in the high 80s. It is just absolutely nails a mixing of genres I had never thought of. And it understands... And I almost want to open my review just so, because of the way I worded how I thought about it, because I started really playing this on Friday. I thought about it for a while, because I started playing this mostly on Friday and had 30 hours in by Monday morning, because it was due yesterday at 1:30 p.m. my time, so I had to have it done in the morning. And it's about a 30-hour long game. It's not run-based. It's not repeat this or repeat that. It is just a... enemies respawn when you activate a checkpoint. There is a focus on grinding resources to level up. You can lose those resources when you die, unless you fight to get them back. Each region of the world wants you to gear up in a specific way to varying degrees. Combat is focused on learning enemy attack patterns. Bosses may require dozens of attempts to finally beat, and the game world is surprisingly deep and brilliantly laid out. Like that is what a Souls game is to me. And what something like Lies of P really got. Like it understood all of that while adding in, I think, more direct storytelling than the From games ever did in a smart way. And Death Howl is very similar. Like you know what the story is, you know where things are going. It's not super crazy or obtuse. It's more the things you find and find out in the world that are really cool through the story. No voice acting, despite like what the videos from 11-Bit showed yesterday. The whole game is just text. But it's great. I could not recommend that one any more than I already have.
Nice, mate. I'm excited. I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah, it's in PC Game Pass in a half an hour or something.
Yeah, and it's coming to console February.
Yes,
and on Game Pass.
Either February 13th or February 19th. I can't remember the date.
One of those days.
Yeah.
Which is, if it's Feb 13th, that's the same.
I just put it in the I put it in the review. Let me open that up, so that people can know exactly before we get into the 55 news stories we have, and it's already been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
February 19th.
There was a lot of news. While I'm busy writing up the Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced rating by Peggy. Yes, Peggy's website has revealed Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced which presumably is the remake of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which, as reported by, I think, Insider Gaming within the last couple of weeks, is rumored to be launching Q1, March-ish 2026. So it sounds like we'll be treating for a trailer later on this week, which I can't wait for. And then Jesse and I will have a good old fight about who gets to review it. Or maybe we both do.
Yeah, I mean, both.
It's probably
Ubisoft. I would just say, yes, the PlayStation Store has leaked something about Resident Evil Requiem. Don't say it in chat. Not going to cover it. Already a rumor that's been out there 8 million times, and the PlayStation Store pretty much confirmed it because their stores are always bad at leaking stuff. But, I mean,
all stores are.
Yeah. Dusk Golem wins.
Yeah. So that's cool. Anyway, in big news, as reported, was it earlier this week that it happened? Or was
late
it
last week. Very late last week.
Netflix entered into acquisition talks with Warner Brothers with an announced deal. Warner Brothers shareholders apparently said yes, goes to regulatory boards. As Jesse surmised on that show last week, on Thursday, or on Saturday on the show, I can't remember which, or both.
Saturday.
The Ellisons, who own, or at least a controlling interest of Paramount, were not happy about this. And yesterday initiated hostile takeover proceedings by offering a superior cash offer, I'm paraphrasing the quote there, but that's pretty much what they said, of something like $30 a share, which is like $5 more than what Netflix were offering.
Yeah, but it's not more.
But it's not,
because
it's not quite that.
Netflix
there's
only
a lot of Saudi
wants
Arabia interest in here.
Well, Netflix only wants Warner Brothers, which would mean Discovery gets spun off and can be sold on its own.
Yeah.
Whereas Paramount wants the whole thing for that amount. But it's not just Netflix buys us, we're out, our debt is gone. As where with Paramount, it's different again. Jared Kushner involved again, and much like with EA, there's a bunch of debt and loans and shit, and so it's not the same overall deal. Everyone's like, well, the Ellisons are friendly with Trump, and it's like, man, you can be super friendly with him and then just do one thing wrong, which is own CBS and have it not immediately lick his butthole on everything, and he will lose his mind, so it doesn't actually matter. This is always going to take forever no matter what. This will just make it take even longer, if that.
Yeah.
Like the shareholders and all, and Warner Brothers are all like, well, 10 days to figure this out, but they're happy with the Netflix deal. The Netflix deal lets them get $82 billion and then sell off Discovery or flip it or do whatever for even more. So,
how do you think it's all going to play out? Do you think that, because I understand that the board recommended that they stick with it, or that they would consider it and talk about it in the next 10 days.
Yeah,
they're
happy with the deal they have. They'll look at this one, but everyone's like, this isn't going to change anything. It's just the Ellisons are, especially that guy, and nobody likes him in Hollywood. He is the silver spoon, whiny little give me whatever I want archetype, allegedly, supposedly. Not well liked. Neither side of this deal is great, but I'm in the much better for if it's Netflix camp. It's not good if it's Netflix, but it's way better.
Man, I don't know what's good here. I don't think any of it's good particularly, but I don't know if I want Paramount to own it.
No, well, it's not like old Paramount, whatever, but new Paramount by the Skydance owner. Like the Ellisons strong-arm their way into Hollywood with Skydance and Annapurna. So if you ever liked Annapurna, no, that's the Lady Ellison, the daughter, who had her entire video game publishing team quit on her and go form something else because they didn't like her, allegedly, supposedly. So none of it's great, and none of it's going to be figured out anytime soon. And if I get too loud, I hear myself, probably through your earbud.
Yeah, probably. Sorry. I hate writing news while trying to talk about different news. My brain starts to haywire and I lose track on what I'm doing.
We're not a lady. My wife could do that no problem. And then she always laughs at me that I like when I'm doing one thing, my brain fully focuses on it, but it focuses in a way her brain can't. It's like I'm very good at one thing while she's very good at like 10 things, but she's bad at one thing.
The hyper focus is real.
Yep.
Probably an undiagnosed ADHD
But also the ADHD
diagnosis in there somewhere.
But the ADHD thing is actually the other way, where you are really bad at focusing on one thing and you're good at jumping between them, which is what I think she has.
Oh, no, because I would also say that ADHDers get a serious hyper focus on one thing, but very, very short period of time. So,
yeah, no, I can focus on one thing forever.
It's why I keep doing crazy projects with Xbox Zero, like Console Wars the card game or a book. It's because like the hyper focus kicks in and I'm like,
it's a long time though. It's not like a little time.
No, but I do love a good project. Do love a project. So that's interesting to see how that all shakes out with Netflix.
It'll be a long time.
Be a while before we really actually see any movement or finalization of such things. So I expect it to live in your news feeds just like Activision did for like at least 18 months. Next up in news
is me clickbaiting Jason Ronald, where he gave corporate speak.
Talk about this and I'll write this, yeah?
So Jason Ronald, as a part of an Xbox Ally handheld review on the BBC News channel, they talked to Jason Ronald, and got a quote out of him. The BBC fellow, I think his name's Tom, was asking, can we get any more original Xbox games on Game Pass? And Jason Ronald was like, I can't commit to anything, but next year is our 25th, just to summarize it, next year is our 25th anniversary, and the quote is, there will be exciting things to share. And knowing that's an open-ended quote that doesn't actually say or commit to anything, because that is corporate speak, I still couched it in the way of it being about original Xbox games and Game Pass, and everyone ran with it because people will always take that type of news, ascribe it to what they want to be reality, and treat it like it's actually saying something. Like that is what Phil Spencer is mostly amazing at, is saying nothing, but it really sounds like he's committed to something. When he has said something exists and maybe it'll happen this way, we'll see, and people are like, oh shit, that's happening. And it's like, no. So I think we all knew they're going to have some stuff for the 25th anniversary next year. They keep talking about it. Phil brought it up at the June showcase where it's Fable, Gears, and Forza and Halo. 25th anniversary. Can't wait. I do know Jason said that next year they do want to like set what the future is going to be. So again, you can take that as be, or they're going to talk about the new hardware. It's a bunch of open-ended things that the media will take and quote. And depending on how you deliver it, you can kind of guide your audience into wanting to click on it and then reading more into it than is actually there. So that is clickbait.
Yes.
Which
we try not to do.
Yeah. But
it's like with the Banjo-Kazooie story last week. I was like, there's a new Banjo-Kazooie game, but there's a catch. Oh, says dear reader, what could the catch be? I do think, though, like, the more and more I think about 2026, and I've been sitting here working on some content plans for the end of the year and early next year for us all on Xbox Zero side of things. And I'm like, I was putting together my game of the year list, like my favorite things I've played this year, right? And I had a huge number of games to choose from because I think that 2025 has been one of the best years in recent memory for playing video games. Like if you ignore the bullshit, ignore the fucking list wars and the platform wars and the console war bollocks, what games have I played that I fucking loved? I have a lot of them, which has been nice to sit there and be like, oh shit, what makes my top 10? I think my top 10 is going to be very different from Jesse's top 10 and probably from Ursul's top 10 and definitely from Chengiz's top 10, right? But that then got me to thinking about 2026. And when it comes to Xbox in particular, we've got Fable, we've got whatever Infinity Ward are doing with COD, we've got
it's Modern Warfare
Halo.
4 set in the Korean demilitarized zone.
Something like that, right?
No, I mean, it is. That's just what Tom Henderson's been saying for a while.
Fair enough. We've got Forza Horizon 6. We've got some real heavy hitters, and that's just the stuff that we know about.
Yeah.
But it's also the 25th anniversary of Xbox. There's been all of this noise and conversation about what's happening with the platform. You know, Microsoft's deprioritization of hardware selling. They've lost Black Friday that they didn't participate in.
Yeah.
But let's say they lost anyway. They have been losing the hardware battle for years. Like, why are we focusing on 1 week? But all of that, I'm like, is 2026 the year where they do a Project Scarlet And I don't think the new hardware is launching next year. But is it the time to start talking about it? Maybe. It's an interesting time.
Well, it's weird because Black Friday has always been an overstock dump. All these things you have a ton of, you dump at really cheap prices to try and pull people in to buy other stuff that you can make margin on. But that always ends up getting lost. And also, like, they got outsold by a thing that was $200 and on sale. Like, the only stuff that sells on Black Friday is stuff that's discounted, and they didn't discount anything. So I don't think it's a surprise that they didn't sell anything. They were not... They've continued to be 2 years into not trying to sell consoles a ton. Whether it's a good strategy or not, I don't know. But it's not a confusing strategy, which is what I always see it couched as. Like, it might be an overall confusing strategy, but this not putting something on sale around Black Friday isn't confusing. They're never going to. Yeah, it will be interesting and fun. And I had asked about getting Jason onto the show after the Ally came out. But he's been very busy. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would like to get Jason back on again. It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
And he is a busy boy, though. So it's fair enough.
And we're not BBC News. They were able to get him for a few minutes, pre-recorded.
Yeah, but it's fine. Now, you reported another story yesterday, which is about Flight Sim 2024 and how it ended up on PlayStation 5. What happened there?
I did 2 news reports around Flight Sim, news aggregation. So there was an interview with XDA. It will be linked on the website, and maybe Chad, if John wants to throw it in there. They had an interview with the lead guy over there at Flight Sim, and he pretty much said, when we were going to 24, because our install size was going to hit 500 gigabytes otherwise, he wanted to bring the game to everywhere. And Xbox originally said no to PlayStation 5, but eventually, especially after an executive over at Sony said we really want it to them, it did. They started the work, and he worked with a company to bring Flight Sim 2024 to PlayStation 5. It's been there about a week, I think, maybe 2. And they're starting to talk to manufacturers and be like, yep, we are committed to being here, so you can actually bring more than the one flight stick that is available on the platform right now over. But that big thing was that it essentially was him and a Sony executive were the reasons why Flight Sim ended up on PS5. And he likes to think, especially because of the timing, that it was part of the dam breaking that started seeing more and more ports coming over, which is funny because it was the latest one. Because it took so long to make it work right. And they are working on VR for Flight Sim 2024. Big thing with VR is you need to have a very consistent, at least 48 frames per second in both eyes, which is really hard in a game that struggles to run past 30 at times. So it will be interesting, but it's cool. And also the other part was the very random and weird Stranger Things collab that's coming this month, I guess. It came in yesterday real late. It was like 8 o'clock at night with a YouTube drop for Hawkins Helitours. And I can probably put that up on here because it's like...
my son would probably want to check this out. He is obsessed with Stranger Things. It's like, it's his Lord of the Rings. You know, it's my 20 years ago. It's his, it's his like, oh my God, moments in television. It's really cute to watch. It's very sweet.
Yeah, they went full 4x3, 80s styling, a real phone number you can call and hear Murray Bauman from the show talk to you in a pre-recorded message where he so this Hawkins Helitour is going around Hawkins, Indiana, because what rural American town wouldn't have its own helicopter tour? It's very cheesy. It's meant to be cheesy and look old. Teasing, still haven't seen what the actual collab is going to be. I'm guessing you fly around the city and then you can fly around the Upside Down, would be my guess.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Cool, though.
Yeah, no, it's really neat. And I'm knowing them, it's probably going to be free. I don't know when the hell it'll be out. They didn't show it. They didn't give a date. They're still just teasing away, but during the teases, they're showing all the ground splitting that happened, and the guy gets real scared, and there's friggin'... Yeah. It's cool. I'm looking forward, and the nice thing to check it out is when you install Flight Sim 2024, I think it's 8 gigabytes, so you can just jump right in there. But then after that, you're downloading like a terabyte a day if you play it a lot.
Yeah. Like, there's a bit of me that wishes they just let you download if you wanted to. But I get it. The size of the game was a problem.
Yeah, I called that number as part of doing a journalism, and it was just the actor who plays Murray, pretty much saying, "Hey, sorry, we're all booked up." And then he waits, and then he like fake phone hang up noises. And then he says, "Okay, if you're still here, you need to know I really need more pilots. We need to get around this city. I need help."
That's kind of it's super cool. Nerdy, but cool. Oh, lovely. In other news, Tim Cain, the legendary original creator or co-creator of Fallout.
You want to see something funny real quick, John? As you say that, it literally has a Tim Cain video right in the middle of the recommendeds from after that played. It's like YouTube knew that I had watched the original Tim Cain video.
The lovely Tim Cain. Yes, that gentleman right there is back full time at Obsidian following his retirement, I think back in like 2020. He'd been at Obsidian, he'd been at a bunch of other places. He was at Interplay, obviously, when they created Fallout. And he joined Obsidian in 2011, I think worked on Pillars of Eternity and some other bits and pieces. And he had worked on the Outer Worlds and done some advisory and bits and pieces on the Outer Worlds too. But now he announced in his video he's moved back to Southern California. He's back working at Obsidian full time. He's no longer a contractor. He said, "Oh, I guess I'm no longer semi-retired." And as for what he might be working on, well, he said we wouldn't guess. So I'm going to guess 2. That it's not Fallout New Vegas 2 then. But it's super cool to see him back in. He is, a bit of a legend and a super cool dude. If you haven't watched his YouTube channel and just the conversations around game development and the thought processes and some of the design insider stuff, super, super fascinating if you are a fan of that sort of deep dive and conversation. But yeah, wonder what it could be. We won't guess. Metal Oxide, Avowed 2, he says, "You won't guess, mate, so stop guessing." Yeah,
we won't guess.
Might be a new thing.
Yep.
Whenever someone says you won't guess, I'm like, new IP.
Elder Scrolls 7. Oh.
And I want to call this out in the chat. Abdul1143 saying fake insiders saying Fable won't make 2026. I know that our very own Nick went and blurted out his opinion that he thinks that it might not. However, I did see a job listing earlier this week with Microsoft asking and hiring for a go-to-market project manager person for a beloved fantasy RPG or something like that. Now, granted, Microsoft own a lot of beloved fantasy RPGs, but none that are as soon and imminent as something
Elder
like
Scrolls
Fable.
6. Oh.
So, yeah, well, equally, Todd Howard did say he wanted to shadow drop things some more. Can you imagine the explosion if they just shadow dropped Elder Scrolls 6? Like,
it would be very stupid to do.
And you guaranteed within a day, doing this ruins the magic.
No, I got to rush through it for a review. It
hasn't allowed me to engage in the hype cycle. I need to be marketed towards fucking.
It's also like he said that he wanted to drop stuff before for a similar game, and it was still out within a year and a half. Or they're not close; they're far away, and but it still was out in like a year and a half. I think it was Fallout 4. I forget, but
yeah.
Never take what business people say literally. They don't always mean it.
Speaking of business people that also work in video games, it was a segue. I don't say it worked, but it was a segue. Hey, you remember Perfect Dark, the reboot that looked really cool that we never got to play because it all got cancelled and shut down, and the initiative, the studio that was formed specifically by Microsoft to do cool stuff, also got shut down and everything's gone and broken now and we're all sad?
No.
Oh. Well, that happened, but don't worry because Darrell Gallagher, the head of the initiative, has joined forces with an ex-Insomniac dev, Brian Horton.
Who had been the last creative director on Perfect Dark for a year.
Indeed. They've gone and started a new studio over at 2K. Bear in mind, 2K tried to negotiate with Microsoft and save the Perfect Dark studio and stuff. So is this a way of continuing that work?
No.
Do I expect Darrell Gallagher and Brian Horton, not with the same IP, but to go and reach out to those team members and be like, yo,
No, I don't think so.
Start again.
Because the actual team members on the initiative were not that many, and a lot of them left. And then they had to bring in Crystal Dynamics. Crystal Dynamics was doing the majority of the work.
But a lot of the people at Crystal Dynamics have been let go. So is there a quick let's regroup? I don't know.
It's
because
tough.
they couldn't get.
It's the really
IP
hard thing
from
is that like
Microsoft.
cheap labor in Europe, Spain, and Poland, and in China and in Japan, I think is very tempting to these companies right now. And paying people a lot of money to work in California or Montreal is not tempting. So I'm very surprised to see a new studio. I'm really curious, is it going to be what the initiative kind of was?
Wanted to make? Yeah.
Which was, don't be too huge because California is expensive, and then we'll work with other companies that we don't have to pay all their benefits to, and especially, and get it all figured out. But then they had the too many cooks problem, allegedly, supposedly. And since that was, and it was funny, I saw people saying like, wow, another report from Schreier. He's like, no, he just read the LinkedIn posts, but the way he shared it was kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like to match with the news story I had in July. But it was just they post on LinkedIn. But another story about maybe too many cooks and many issues is all of this fantastic reporting from Stephen Totillo of GameFile around KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2's remakes.
What?
Yep.
Yeah. I read a bit of this before I crashed out last night because it's a long email.
I'll share it in chat.
I'm ahead of you. It's already in there. But like, what's the skinny here? Because there is a lot to unpack.
I can read most of it because I'm not a member.
Oh, okay.
So, but the meat of it is he went through a lot of legal filings around Aspire's attempt to do a full KOTOR release on Jez Gurdon with a £5 super chat saying they should make an identical game called Imperfect Light. No, they should make
Immaculate Shadow.
No, they should finally make Agent.
Yeah, just grab that IP. Boop. Mm-hmm. We already own it. Yeah, it's fine.
It's part of your parent company. But yeah, so essentially, Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Switch was supposed to have the missing content that was mostly a fan mod, but then Disney stepped in and said no, essentially because like it was fans working on it and giving everyone credit, and it's a legal nightmare. And so it led to issues around false promises around what was going to be in the game that people bought, because the deal wasn't fully done when they announced that it was going to have it all. And it came out also that work on the Knights of the Old Republic remake, full modern remake, had moved over to, I believe, the studio that's doing Hellraiser under Saber, which means it's probably nowhere close if they're busy doing the final run on Hellraiser.
Full remake. Those were the last turn-based RPGs that I ever played. KOTOR 1 and 2. I don't know if I would go back for them either. Maybe I would. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
It's
a long time ago.
And then also saying that there was also work on in plans for a KOTOR 2 remake that brings in all the missing content that was cut from Obsidian from game, which is crazy because they haven't been able to make one, and it doesn't seem one is close. But much like a certain short Brit I know, they have lots of plans that they really want to see come to fruition, and maybe they don't always do.
Yeah.
Even at the gigantic billion-dollar corporate level, it's never easy.
It's never easy, people.
No. But yeah, it's a very good article. It's a very long article because he went through a lot of depositions and stuff and court cases to figure it all out. Very good work.
It's probably one of the most detailed behind-the-scenes, like, bits of info that you'd ever see around the saga of remaking a game.
And as someone who is hoping it would be real, I don't feel any more confident that it will be ever something that comes out.
Yeah. Disney seem keen for it not to be. Boo.
Well, no, they also don't. Like, it was mostly that it's just too complicated legally for the Switch version of KOTOR 2 to have the content back in it. Having it there legally.
Weird? People going, oh, where's my insert back compat game or old legacy game that Activision own, and it should just come to Game Pass. And it's like that this article and all of the discovery gives you just a little sneak peek at some of the licensee type stuff that can just be like, nope, can't.
Yeah,
fuck.
Like, if something is outside of Call of Duty, if something from Activision Blizzard isn't in Game Pass, there's probably a very good chance, or back compat, there's a very good chance that it's legal licensing issues.
Yeah. Next up, a legendary developer is leaving Bandai Namco. This is the guy that's responsible for Tekken, right?
Among many things,
Katsuhiro Harada?
Long career.
Yeah. There's a translation here from Harada that is via, I think this is Blue. No, this looks like Twitter.
Now, for the very last story, by the way, I actually got a translation from Cengiz about that last story, but then he wasn't able to write it up yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want the machine learning ones.
Yeah. But Harada shared this. This is translated by Twitter's AI. Sorry, everyone. I'd like to share that I'll be leaving Bandai Namco at the end of 2025, with the Tekken series reaching its 30th anniversary, an important milestone for a project I devoted much of my life to. I felt this was the most fitting moment to bring one chapter to a close. My roots lie in the days when I supported small local tournaments in Japanese arcades and in small halls and community centres overseas. I still remember carrying arcade cabinets by myself, encouraging people to please try Tekken and directly facing the players right in front of me. The conversations and atmosphere we shared in these places became the core of who I am as a developer and game creator. There's a load of other stuff here, but basically, long and short of it is, he worked on a bunch of stuff, and to everyone who has supported me, he says, to communities around the world and to all my colleagues who have walked alongside me for so many years, I offer my deepest gratitude. I'll share more about my next steps at a later date. Thank you very much for everything.
Breaking news.
Oh, God.
Another release of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is coming to Switch 2, available today.
Oh my God, the game that just keeps on making money
because
for those
people
guys.
just keep buying it. But yeah, always surprising to see this. Always wonder where they end up going, what they end up doing. Best of luck. Made a lot of good games.
The thing with this as well, it's like 30 years. Tekken is 30 years, and we're seeing a lot of these legendary developers either genuinely, time to retire, or unfortunately pass away, right? Even worse, thankfully not in this case, right? But the reality of like how young this industry is really is becoming more and more prevalent to me every day. Like, these are people that have been around for a very, very long time, and then the next generation's coming in inspired by some of the stuff that these people have made to bring us the next 30, 40 years of what video games are going to be. It's weird. It's weird to think in such mortal ways.
The algorithm on the Xbox Era YouTube channel. And I just have to call out the Xbox International podcast, who I used to really like the thumbnails from. It was just him doing dumb shit, and it was funny. Now he's doing these. Now, isn't it? It's like, this is like Bill Spender. I don't know who this is supposed to be, but it's very AI. Also, why the hell is House MD up here with 8.3 million views on this? A skirt so tight, you've got no secrets clip with Olivia Wilde. Like, why is there Gooner, Metroid Prime 4, Uwu, anime boob lady here when I hover over it? John, what have you been watching?
It's not me. It's not me, bro. It's not me. I've got my personal YouTube.
So do I. Yet all these things seem to match what you're into. John.
Why being that way?
I'm just asking the tough questions. Like a real seasoned professional journalist. Speaking of, Tom Henderson, the most famous journalist out there, broke a very sad story. World. Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks for these guys. King of Meat, Amazon's play at a big live service, cross-play, everyone have fun, play with your friends, make dungeons, do cool stuff. Let's get it clear. It was a really good little game, right? Yep. With solid mechanics.
It was really fun when we played it.
Really well designed. Great user-generated content system. Did not go according to plan, and we could probably have told them that. Reviews came out. It's fun. That's it. Is it fun enough to grab people? Apparently not.
If you associate with Mr. Beast, will that help you? Not even a little.
No. Tom Henderson reported on Insider Gaming. We'll put a link in the chat for you guys here. But the nutshell here, several developers at Amazon Games, King of Meat developer Glowmade have announced that they'll be made redundant in January 2026. The news comes following what sources described to Insider Gaming as a disastrous launch for the studio's game King of Meat, which failed to meet internal expectations by a significant margin.
By over 30,000 times? They were hoping to reach 100,000 concurrence on Steam, and they reached 320.
Ow. That is, according to Tom Henderson, despite a multi-million-dollar marketing budget for the game, which included a dedicated video from Mr. Beat's gaming YouTube channel with a custom set and dozens of content creators. Other marketing avenues included custom-wrapped buses in London and an animated TV show pilot.
It's all the marketing beats everyone wants Xbox to do on everything.
Yeah,
but they don't really help.
No,
not with the audience they're going after. You're way better to do like direct TikTok focused stuff, and that type of game, unfortunately, generally can only succeed if it's free to play. But then that means it's an entirely different development pipeline for constantly having new content to keep people playing. Like the Arc Raiders that I've talked about it, the finals, pain in the ass to keep up with. You got to constantly make new shit. As we're Arc Raiders, people are paying for it, and they're not expecting the same constant cadence to keep them in it.
Yep, is the pressure's off a little bit.
And the influencer world is really fake. Allegedly, supposedly, Mr. Beast buys lots of views. People have always said. Maybe those people have always been wrong. I don't know. But he's terrifying to look at and very boring for me. So I've never understood any of his appeal, or that I just don't think most of the time that it really translates to real world stuff where people have to pay money.
Again, this is a perfectly good game. And if this was a perfectly good game, let's say 8 years ago, it might have surprised and shocked. But we've had the Fall Guys route, and we've had the Gang Beasts, and some of these aren't free to play, right? This was a $30, $40 title, and yes, it had some really cool ideas, and yes, it is fun, but it's not enough now to pull people away from their go-to and their free-to-plays and their I've invested X amount of money in this already, so why would I go play this other thing? It's not enough anymore.
Nope.
And it feels to me constantly like these are decisions being made by people who don't actually play games or understand the market, and just, if we do these things, it'll just work. And it's like, nah. And I've lost count now the number of times where we have either previewed a title or seen one get announced or played one and gone, this is doomed to fail.
Yep.
And it's not, 9 times out of 10, it's not because it's a bad game, right? It's not because it's bad. It's just there's no market here for this, bro. You've missed the boat. It's rough. It's a rough industry. My hearts go out to Glowmade. You made a good game. Brutal.
It is heavily luck dependent on when are you coming out. It can even be like, oh, you were the wrong week. If you were last week, you'd have a better shot. Like it sucks.
It's mad. A few other things here to call out before we close up for the day. If you are looking to start an expedition in Arc Raiders, which is their reset mechanic for players that have reached that max level cap and donated all the resources, it's departing soon. They delayed it a little bit, I think, and the window now opens on the 17th of December instead of, as it was meant to be, I think, earlier this week. And then you'll have a 6-day period in which your raider can choose to leave the Rust Belt for good. But if you do, you will unlock new outfits, a janitor cap for Scrappy, an expeditions indicator icon, skill points, and a plus 12 stash space for your character, as well as some temporary buffs as well. I don't think this is something I'm ever going to want to bother to do.
It's the only way these games have ever worked. Because over time, you are just going to hit everything, and you need to restart.
Yeah. And they, indeed, they answer that question. Why are we doing like this? They say progression wipes are a notoriously difficult thing to balance in an online multiplayer game, and we get that. Mandatory global wipes have obvious benefits. Heavily invested players get to re-experience the initial grind, and for a time, the playing field is leveled. But the optional Expedition Project is our solution to some of the problems that inevitably arise with mandatory wipes, specifically by respecting your time investment in the game. We want to offer you a choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go.
They've been pretty smart with this game overall.
Yep, they're a developer to watch, I think, Embark. Last couple of news stories, in case you missed it. 2XKO is coming to Xbox and PlayStation 5 in January. I think Is that a new announcement? I think?
So it's on PC in early access, and now it's finally got a date for consoles as well, which will most likely still be the same thing. It's the only Riot game that doesn't have any Game Pass Ultimate benefits. I did ask them, and they said for now they're just focused on the game launch and getting it into a good position. So it wasn't a denial that eventually it should unlock everything character-wise for you. Like, that's what the Game Pass Ultimate Riot perk, which I'm surprised they don't push more, because if you play a lot of Riot games, it can be worth like $1,000. Crazy perk.
Wow.
Yeah. It just unlocks every character in every Riot game, pretty much. And gives you some cosmetics, I think. Very good.
Last couple of news stories now. In case you missed it, spoiler alert, and it was spoiled by Jeff Keighley. So it's allowed. Tomb Raider, the reboot from Amazon Games, is
the future of Tomb Raider will be shown at the. He did not say it's the reboot. It could be a mobile game.
Okay. The future of Tomb Raider is going to be shown at the Game Awards.
You know the rumor. Not a reboot of 2013, but a remake of the original Tomb Raider. Because 2013 Survivor Trilogy was set before Tomb Raider 1. It's Lara Croft becoming the Lara Croft we knew from the original Tomb Raiders.
Yeah.
So it would essentially be a sequely follow-up to this Survivor Trilogy. But it's rebooting the first game.
Didn't the original first Tomb Raider have dinosaurs in it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying.
There's a lot of supernatural shit in the Survivor games. A lot.
Okay. Dinosaurs aren't supernatural.
But having them still around would be.
I guess.
There are greater than natural elements. That's what supernatural means. Doesn't mean magic. Having dinosaurs in the present day would be super to our natural order.
I really liked the Survivor trilogy. So
they're all great. I know Something Shadows actually has the best puzzles by far. Rise might have the best overall flow, but the actual gameplay of Shadow is great. And it's still technically very impressive.
Yeah. And last but not least, Hideo Kojima has talked a little bit about OD, the new title coming to Xbox and probably everything. A little bit about what it is. Now,
I did DM you the translation from our own Super Weeb.
I've got it, indeed. Originally reported by automatonmedia.com. They translated it as Kojima says, OD is something completely different from a standard horror game. We still don't know if it will work out. I'll put a link to that in the chat. But in the meantime, our very own Cengiz translated it directly rather than using machine learning.
And it is as direct as it gets, because obviously in language it's very tough. Things can mean something that doesn't directly really translate. There isn't a word for it in our language. So he did his best.
Yeah. Mr. Mamoru Oshii was quite interesting, wasn't he? Said Kojima. I've also brought together Guillermo del Toro and the like regarding OD Knock Overdose. I'm sure they thought it was nothing more than a typical horror game, but now that's certainly not the case. I can't quite talk about the project yet, and I don't know if things will work out. Up until now, it's a kind of game that hasn't been done and delivered before. It's a kind of game that hasn't been made until this point, but it is functionally like other games. That kind of work, where because the service mechanisms differ from the game's system, has become a considerable challenge, as there are lots of hints in the trailer for OD. If you keep thinking about it, I'm sure you'll understand. I'm sorry, I don't.
No.
We'll see.
I doubt he does.
But yeah, thank you, Cengiz, for that translation. I'm curious. My assumption is it is an anthology, an episodic type thing with different directors having different says on different horror themes as one package. That is kind of like how I feel about it.
Well, you'll probably know more when you go to GDC and then you get in the front row for the Kojima "This I'm So Great" keynote.
I would be there. I'd wear a T-shirt with saying "You're so great" on it.
No, you
But
get
yes.
AI, Keeley, and Kojima kissing. You'd love that.
Ryan Hodgson in the chat. I've never played Black Flag. Doesn't it have co-op?
Nope.
No. It's a single player game.
I don't know. That
But it's really good.
Unity
it's the
had
best
co-op.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, Unity did. It's the best Assassin's Creed besides 2 from the old Assassin's Creeds before they went full RPG.
Did you ever play Syndicate?
I think I own it. I'm not sure if I ever played it. It's the London one, isn't it?
Yeah, Syndicate would be up there with it for me. Syndicate was great.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. You get a grappling hook in Syndicate, and you can grapple up walls.
I like grappling hooks.
Roofs.
I do like grappling hooks, and I like it that it's in London. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Evie's great. Her brother's not bad, but I mostly played it as Evie.
But yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all the news, people.
Into the shower.
We love you. Thank you, as always, for folks that tuned in, hung with us for this breakdown of the latest headlines in video gaming. We will be back on Thursday twice, because we'll be back for headlines, and then I'm going to have a sleep, and then we'll be back again for the Game Awards live stream as we take over everything on the Xbox Era YouTube channel and watch that show for 4 hours as I go insane until 4 a.m. I'm looking forward to it.
And at some point this week, whether tonight or another night, we're looking to dig a hole in a hangout sesh.
I'd like to do it tonight. Tonight would be fun. If you're down.
I'm a little
And
behind
we've got
on stuff.
space for 2 other people to come and join us and dig a hole. We'll see if we can wrangle some Xbox Era staff members to come and hang out with us. But yeah, failing that, we'll see you on Thursday. As always, if you enjoy what we do, consider supporting us directly on patreon.com/Xbox Era. And be good to each other, because there's shit tons of really cool video games out there, and go play one. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.